I will never read every book. I will never listen to every song. I won't step foot in every city, but I will live 1,000,000 lives. What up, you guys? Welcome back to 1,000,000 Lives with the lovely chicken salad enjoyer himself, the Adam Beck. It's funny. Today I wanted to talk about living in the moment. And ironically, I didn't post a video yesterday because I completely forgot to record stuff because I was living in the moment. And there's a lot of things in life that happen. And a lot of it I feel like happens on autopilot. Like looking back, I can't remember a conversation from elementary school, a single one, or maybe middle school, high school. I don't remember talking to anyone. I obviously did talk to people. I wasn't a complete loser. I had friends. And I feel like there's a weird thing with the society we live in, this sort of just like fight or flight, and the flight is this autopilot mode where we don't really experience things as much as we could have or should have. Like our natural instincts are kind of saturated down. So today I wanted to just inspire everyone and talk about living in the moment. And you might think, what is living in the moment? Well, I'm glad you asked. Living in the moment is the best example I can think of is when you control your breathing. You probably started breathing manually right now, but I feel like it's when you do stuff like that, when you feel your heartbeat, when you feel your inhales and exhales, it's when you are mentally controlling even the smallest little detail in your body. Like you can almost feel your blood pumping, your eyes blinking, your breath. That is living in the moment to the smallest degree. But when you take that, I think when you are living in the moment, you feel those sensations, those natural bodily motions. And so if you can control your breathing and you're in an environment that allows you to adapt to it, or let me rephrase this. If you're controlling your breathing, you're at the lowest level of living in the moment. But then as you go up higher and higher, you are experiencing life more. So like when you're driving, you're obviously in autopilot mode. You go past a light and you think, wait, was that even green? That's autopilot. Now, living in the moment is the opposite. So you're driving, you see it's green, and you noticed a pretty tree, and you're like, wow, that tree is beautiful. That is living in the moment. That is noticing the small details in life that you wouldn't if you weren't conscious. Now, obviously, we're all conscious. Everyone gained consciousness at a different age. My argument is that every time I say I became conscious, that's when I actually became conscious. Because like 10 minutes ago, I was not conscious compared to how I am now. And that's just living in the moment. That's what living in the moment is, a constant sense of consciousness. But how do we do that? How do we live a life like that? Well, your email, for example. You're working the server, you're a server, you work a POS system, you do sales. That is not living in the moment. Working your job is not living in the moment. And there's only so much we can do to fight that because of the society and establishment we live under. Just in general of having a job, economy, blah, blah, blah. Love it or hate it, it's probably better than hunter-gathering. But living in the moment, it's like maybe listening to a podcast where you're consciously listening while you're working. That's one way to be conscious in the moment. And I think one thing about consuming media in general is an underrated way to live in the moment. If you consume media and reflect on it as you're watching it, like, wow, I really like the color there. I really like that soundtrack. What soundtrack is that? What song are they using? Who is this actor? That is living in the moment. Obviously, it's dumbed down, but in this economy, in this world, that is a win. Living in the moment in that sense is a win. Now, obviously, the ultimate living in the moment is like rejecting society and going to live in the forest, but none of us are going to do that. No one's going to join me, okay? I'm a little upset with that. But basically, guys, turn off autopilot. Notice the small details in your environment. Your environment is a key reason you're either conscious or not. Like your job, your home. You go home, you take your shoes off, you turn on the TV, you wash your hands, you go eat some leftovers. That is autopilot. Change it up. Take a different route home. Do something else. Go in your back door. Walk through the back, like you're breaking into your own house. Maybe go through the garage. Reverse in. Park in a new spot. Screw your neighbor. Take his spot, okay? He needs to be a little conscious too. You know, you have to change it up. You can't repeat the cycle of living. You know, I could go on and on, say different things, different this, different that about living in the moment. But the ultimate thing is just doing it. So yesterday I went to a baseball game and I planned to do a whole vlog of me at the baseball game, but I completely forgot because I was enjoying the moment. And that's another thing. Like the whole technology thing makes living in the moment so much harder because we have this idea that we have to relive it. We're living in the moment and we want to turn it into the same autopilot cycle. That's why we record everything so we can relive a moment, and we're trying to chase that rush. And don't get me wrong, I have some videos from me hiking, me at a national park, and I rewatched them. I'm like, oh my God, dopamine spike. That was awesome. Take me back. But nothing will be as good as that moment because you were living in the moment. Like obviously we reflect on the past, we think about the future. But the ultimate way to live is right now in the present, you know? The past was a blah, but the present is a gift, you know, blah, blah, blah. Whatever they tried to say in that one saying. But the ultimate thing about living in the moment is knowing yourself, knowing how to reward yourself, but consciously. Okay, going to Cane's and going to eat just this delicious fast food is such a autopilot mode to live a million lives, guys. A million ways to live in the moment starts from the way you breathe, to the way you go about things, to the way you visualize your life. If you just used your 5 senses to your maximum, you'll be living in the moment every second of your life. Now, granted, I don't do that. I can't. When I try to live in the moment, I get mentally drained. I can do it so much, but if I try to do it 24 hours a day, my body collapses after 2 or 3. So we do need an autopilot mode. You know, we do need that time where we're just scrolling, checking our email, but we need to minimize it and we need to maximize the moment. Okay, it doesn't matter how big or small it is. You know, like me playing the guitar, I kind of go in autopilot mode because I'm trying to learn the keys still, the chords, and I'm not very good. But I'm still living in the moment because I'm learning. I'm working my mind in that motion, in that sense. And I think that's what happens once we turn 18 or 22, we stop learning. And to stop learning is to stop your brain from growing. And like, granted, we still learn fun facts here or there, but you know, we're not challenged where we have to distill something into our mind. And I think the only thing you can distill is the moment, the memories, once you pass 25 or so. And so what you need to do is embrace the moment, embrace right now. I'm consciously talking right now. The words are just flowing. I'm not thinking. And that's when you're at your best, is when you're in this flow state. The moment is flow state. People talk about flow state, autopilot. Flow state is living in the moment because it naturally comes to you. I wrote some words down before, like a plan, what I was going to talk about today. But right now I am just spitting bars. I'm freestyle rapping. And I am living in the moment making this video for you because I need to be organic as possible. And that's what life is. It's organic, you know? Think about it. People used to be cowboys back in the day. You'd ride horses around, just herding cattle in the Wild West, okay? Now I have to deal with fucking traffic. What a crazy shift we've had in this world. That was maybe 5 generations ago, maybe less. Like, what? Like, the world is evolving at a crazy pace. And our minds need to as well. The living in the moment has changed so much because we don't face life and death as much as we do in the past. You know, your heart beats a little faster when you're driving sometimes. You know, there's some dummies out there. But we don't have that rush of like hunter-gathering. But live in the moment. Embrace your environment. Start with the small things and slowly build your way up. And you'll be living in the moment. I just got done from work, guys, and I moved a little bit in the parking lot because I didn't want everyone to see me. So I'm in the parking lot by myself. But I talked a little more than I wanted to. God bless. Everyone have a great day.